This card had seen better days. This definitely looks like damage from salt. 2 GB SanDisk SD card. I'm gonna try to fix this today.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Plugging in a card that looks like this into an interface of any camera is a really bad idea. Do not try to do that. But there might be some things that you can attempt to kind of get this done and troubleshoot this thing from home. Maybe if you handy enough, you can even attempt this repair. This is not going to be difficult, and I'll guide you through. We need to get the card opened up so we can work with it. To open it up, I'm going to use this knife. You can buy it at any craft store. You got to be careful opening this thing up. Usually I start with the corner, so you would cut into it just like a little bit until the plastic, you can feel that it's splitting apart, and then you work your way in. You got to be careful though not to go too deep with the blade, because some of these chips, some of these boards, sometimes they extend only to the half extent, but sometimes they go all the way. And if you go too deep on cutting, you can potentially end up damaging the chip, damaging the circuit, and making things a whole lot worse than they used to be. So when it separates like this, oof, just lots of corrosion here. So the client who sent it here, he reached out, I think, on Instagram. Turns out that he used to live in Ottawa, that he had a shop up the street from where our old office used to be on Bank Street. He lives in the US now, and he was convinced that we can help him out, and I'm glad he sent it in, because I feel like this thing will probably be recovered when we're done with it. Things you got to look for when you're dealing with corroded cards are, first of all, connections that are exposed, because everything that's not exposed, it's more or less protected. Salt and other chemicals will begin reaction with those exposed areas, start eating them away and degrading them. Often enough, what will happen is that you will lose some type of link between the pad and the rest of the circuit, and that's it. And there is no deeper damage, like the corrosion doesn't penetrate it further in. It's just, it's no longer connected. Let's set the multimeter into like a diode test mode. So when you have that mode set up, if you hear this noise being produced, then you have direct connection. So what we want to make sure is that we don't have direct connection between the ground plane and the power plane, right? So we look at both of our terminals on the interface. One probe goes here, another one goes here, and we have a single beep. So that's good. That's first step. We got to make sure that other signals have connections too. So in order to do that, we need to know where they go, because this is easy to test. They're exposed, so they're gonna ring. But in order for us to know whether these connections make it to the rest of the circuit, we need to kind of follow the traces where they go and run the same test. I don't see any disconnected pads just by staring at it, but what we got to do is find the endpoint for the connection and then expose it. So you see these two here. So I'm just gonna go gently scrape this up. We just want to scrape the mask. We don't want to damage the trace. We just want to expose the little bit of that extension. So when we set up this test again, just like this, we want to hear that noise when we connect the pad to the trace. We have a connection here, so that's good. We want to also check it across the ground to make sure that we don't have a direct connection there, and a single beep is what we want to hear. Over here we got connection and no short to ground. Good. Moving over, this signal leads to here. Let's do a little bit of scraping here, and while we're at it, we're gonna scrape this, this, and this. Tiny scrapes like that is enough. So let's go and check this pad here, connected, right? We see that. Next, is this pad connected to the ground? Yes, but that's because this is the ground. This pad here, connected. Good. This pad here, connected. And this pad here, connected. Okay, so all of them are connected. Thing is that we don't have enough meat on these pads up on the front. So how can we read this device out? We can read it out using any sort of extension. When you buy adapters from Multicom, they give you this little thing for pinout research. Well, the easiest way would be to just have it stuck here, and then we wire our signals in accordance to the connector. This right now is something we can plug in directly to like a USB card reader. Here it is. So I found my Transcend USB adapter, and when this failed card is mounted, it's gonna go and plug in here like that. Okay, so when it plugs in like this, we can mount the card either this way. I think, you know, I'll just run wires, and I'll show you how to work with the pin out to make it happen. Here we have a schematic how pins would be wired. Okay, that's not gonna go anywhere, and it's fairly secure now. We know that spacing is good for the adapter. The rest is just gonna work with these pads. So we're gonna need a little bit of flux on all of the pins that we're gonna be attaching this coated wire, so that it's safe if they touch each other, and it's fairly thick to create a nice solid connection. It's a 36 gauge. So we're gonna start with data 0. Data 0 wire, according to this diagram, is pin 7. Let me put on some fume extraction. This flux is a little smoky. Data 2 is pin number 9. Pin number 9 is this one here at the bottom. And the data 2 is right here. So that's going to be a short one. Command is pin 2, and that's the third one here. 1, 2, 3. And the power our power is here. Push it over to the side. I'm not going to connect both of them because by circuit they're already connected. We don't need to run a separate wire to it. Just gently wipe up all the surfaces. Plug this in. I have a connection on the bottom. That goes in like that. So that goes into an extension cord. And this extension cord is going to go into USB port on PC3000. Power up. We got PHY light. We have about 50 milliamps consumption, including the card reader. So fire up. Do we see the ID for SanDisk? No, we don't see the ID for SanDisk, but we see the ID for the card reader, and the correct size comes up. So I think we will have success and read the content. Yes, we do. Okay. It's a 2 GB card. We could easily clone the whole thing, but just to show you that we do have data, there is the partition. The partition is called no name. If we use all of the used sectors map, it shows us that almost everything was used. It's 1.89 gigabytes. So whether we image it this way or image the whole thing, doesn't make any difference. There's a running card. We'll have a full image of the unit with all of the data in it. Thank you for watching this episode, guys. I'll see you in the next one.